What's worse than failing to reach your goal? Reaching it and discovering that it was the wrong goal all along. Jack Horner wanted all the magic in the world. He got closer than anyone ever had, and it still meant nothing. The Lich wanted to extinguish all life across his universe and the multiverse. In one timeline, he actually succeeded in eliminating all life in his own universe, and it destroyed him. Two villains, two goals pursued with absolute commitment. Both goals backfired completely, and at the end of this video, you'll understand why. Let's start with Pudgy Little Jack. Because his type of wrong goal is probably the one that you've chased before. He wants to acquire all the magic in the world. He wants it the most, be powerful, the traditional villain stuff. Or does he? When you realize why he wants it, everything kind of clicks into place. It's all hidden in his nursery rhyme. Little Jack Horner sat in the corner, eating a Christmas pie. He put in his thumb, pulled out a plum, and said, "What a good boy am I." A boy who gets a plum and thinks he's special for it, he's just a good boy no matter what. So the movie just takes that and asks, what if the plum was never enough? What if he just wants and wants and wants? During his performance, Pinocchio shows up with magical dancing and confetti. The crowd goes wild. Everyone ignores Jack's pies.
What's impressive? I've been a boy the whole time.
And that's where Jack goes batshit insane. He wanted to be special. He wanted the attention. He wanted to be the goodest boy. But Pinocchio got all the attention instead, and he wasn't even real. And there's only one reason Pinocchio was getting all the attention that he deserved. Magic. From that moment on, Jack went on a personal vendetta. He grows up and builds the greatest magical artifact collection in the entire fairy tale history. Cinderella's glass slipper, Mickey's sorcerer hat, Aladdin's carpet, King Midas's severed hand, a caged phoenix, baby unicorn horns. He's the collector of this universe, and he has a very impressive collection. Something he treats with the utmost care and carefulness. Surely, no, not really. He calls them trinkets. He even just stuffs all the magic artifacts into a bag like he's going on some school trip and just throws them at people like he's just trying to see what happens. Jack never valued these items because his goal is defined by comparison. He doesn't want magic because magic does something amazing and beautiful and useful. He wants magic so that other people don't have it, and he's willing to use anything and throw it away as soon as it doesn't prove perfect for him. The second he gets something, other people still have those other things, so the goal shifts and it moves, and he has to use everything at his disposal to grab what's theirs. So any goal that is defined by being better, being richer, or more successful than someone else has this fatal flaw built right in. The target moves every time you get close. Jack even admits this himself in a way he doesn't realize. When he talks about his childhood, he says,
"Just loving parents, and stability in a mansion, and a thriving baked goods enterprise for me to inherit. Useless crap like that."
He had everything, but it was useless because other people also had things, and he wanted it all. So Jack chases the wishing star to wish all the magic in the world to become his. And you better believe that wouldn't be enough either.
For me, and no one else gets any.
Notice that last part. No one else gets any. That's the goal, making sure that others don't, which is also where it backfires completely, as it completely destroys Jack's ability to value anything. Because it's not about what he gets or what he wants, it's only about taking it from someone else. Jack uses his own workers as a bridge. Dozens of them can fall to their deaths, and he just laughs about it.
Can't bake a pie without losing a dozen men.
He threatens to kill a puppy with a crossbow. Reminds me of someone in the government. Anyway, that puppy is just super adorable, and in classic villain fashion, Jack just doesn't care. He uses a phoenix as a flamethrower. Priceless magical creatures used as a science experiment. When you're chasing a comparison goal, when you're just basing all of your desires on what someone else has, nothing, no object has inherent value. There will always be something else to take from someone, something else that someone else has that you want. You want what you don't have. The ethical bug, basically this film's version of Jiminy Cricket, spends the entire movie trying to find some kind of good in Jack, some potential for redemption. And when the bug finally gives up and calls him an irredeemable monster, Jack lights up.
Oh, what took you so long, idiot?
Jack has made his goal his entire identity and hasn't even tried hiding it. He is Big Jack Horner, an unapologetic villain, the guy who wants everything. Without that hunger, there's nothing left of him. And in the end, when he is rightfully defeated and the lava devours him like that Star Wars scene, Terminator? Yeah, Terminator, it was Terminator. Jack spouts his last words.
What did I do to deserve this? I mean, what specifically?
He got closer to his goal than any character in the film. He was so close. He had more magic and power than anyone in fairy tale history, and it backfired completely. There's nothing that could have solved that. Being more ambitious wouldn't have solved that, neither would have making better tactical decisions, because at the end, he was always going to drive himself into the wall. Comparison goals can't produce satisfaction. Comparing yourself to what someone else has or what they do doesn't do anything for you. Every achievement just proves that you need more. You're running on a treadmill that speeds up every time you try to catch your breath, and success and failure just become indistinguishable from each other. That's the failure. So if Jake's goal was wrong because it was based on comparison, how do you figure out what goals are actually right for you? The only challenge is that most New Year's resolutions fade by February, which is exactly when this video airs. So let this be a reminder that real change doesn't come from becoming someone new instantaneously. It comes from small, consistent habits that create growth over time. One habit that helped me grow a lot this year is to try to consider others' backgrounds, upbringings, environments, and circumstances before judging them too harshly. So I ask questions like, how would I have fared or resulted in their position with their circumstances, right? I find that this helps me be a lot more empathetic and patient and grow subconsciously kinder over time. Our brain is plastic, and the more you make yourself think certain ways, the more you change in that way. This is something that therapy also helps with a lot. There's no quick fixes, just steady improvement that grows over time and builds lasting support for your well-being, which is actually why this video is sponsored by BetterHelp. Fill out a questionnaire and BetterHelp will match you with a therapist tailored to your needs. Finding a therapist suitable for you can be hard sometimes. That's why BetterHelp allows you to easily switch therapists anytime at no extra cost if you can't find the right fit straight away. Click the link in the description or go to betterhelp.com/lessonsof and get 10% off your first month of therapy. Alright, now let's look at the second type of wrong goal. Because unlike Jack, the Lich actually achieves his goal. We see it happen in Fiona and Cake. Every living thing across an entire universe, dead. Every world, silent. Total victory. It destroys him. Let me explain. The Lich's goal is simple. The extinction of all life across all universes. No exceptions.
Fall. You are alone, child. There is only darkness for you, and only death for your people. I am the end, and I have come for you, Finn.
Unlike most villains, the Lich doesn't want to rule anything, he doesn't want to gloat, he doesn't want anything else, which makes him terrifying in a different way than Jack. You can't negotiate with the Lich, you can't offer him something better. There is nothing he wants except the end of everything. So why does he want this? Fiona and Cake reveals something that reframes his entire character. The Lich calls himself the last scholar of Golb. Golb is this cosmic embodiment of chaos, and the Lich studied it, dedicated his existence to understanding this entity, Golb's last student. And somewhere in that study, the Lich formed his goal, to eradicate all life, to attract Golb's attention and prove himself worthy to his god. So the Lich isn't just mindless destruction, he has a purpose. A deeply held belief that if he just completes his work, Golb will acknowledge him and he'll have purpose. That is all of the meaning he is searching for. And it gets tragic once he actually succeeds in his goal. He just sits there having won and kind of just waits for Golb to respond. The show describes it as an almost total mental shutdown. And it's not the first time he actually does this. When the Lich was in Prismo's time room, he kind of did the same thing, not moving an inch unless it could get him closer to his goal, completely single-minded. The Lich has no other focus. His entire existence was built around extinction. Now that there's nothing left to extinguish, he has nothing left to do, nothing left to be or pursue. But in a turn of events, he actually eventually gets to Golb, or Golbetti at this point in the series. He prays to the entity, begs, demanding to know why he's lost all meaning even though he achieved what he set out for.
In succeeding, I lost all purpose. Why Why must this be?
Golbetty proceeds to absolutely annihilate the Lich, morphing him into one of the mysterious shapes floating behind her. Let us know in the comments down below why you think Golbetty turned him into this Tetris-like shape. Was it because he completed his function in the universe as an agent of Golbetty and returned to the source with no more purpose? Let us know in the comments down below. Jack's goal kept him perpetually hungry. He never reached his goal. The Lich actually achieved his goal and eliminated hunger, purpose, desire, and self entirely in the process. He spent eons working towards this goal. He was completely devoted to it, committed beyond anything humans are capable of. Imagine actually being dedicated to the extinction of all life in the universe. You kind of have to be able to be single-minded to do that. And then when he finally achieves it, doing double the damage of Thanos, there was nothing. No satisfaction, no sense of accomplishment, just void. The Lich's goal had no space for him in it. The goal was extinction of all life. What was he going to do after that? I mean, is he even alive? He's undead, I suppose, but he exists in a universe with no other sentient beings anymore.
Before there was time, before there was anything, there was nothing. And before there was nothing, there were monsters.
That's how the Lich describes himself. A monster that exists before existence, a thing that predates purpose itself with only one goal in mind. And maybe that's true, but it also means he has built his entire goal around becoming nothing, about being eliminated along with the rest of existence, around returning to that state before existence where there was no him, no purpose, no anything. The goal backfired because achieving it meant erasing the person who wanted it. He sought the very goal that would destroy him. And you're probably thinking, okay, but I'm not trying to cause universal extinction here. How does this exactly apply to me? Which is a pretty fair question. There's only probably statistically 1 or 2 Liches among you. But think about goals that require you to sacrifice everything, right? Human goals where you tell yourself, I'll give up some of my sleep, my health, my relationships, anything, just to achieve this one more thing that I really, really need. And what happens when you get there? Who's left to appreciate it? Do you really need to sacrifice all those things just to get it? The Lich proves something important. Devotion alone doesn't make a goal worthwhile. You can commit everything to something and still end up with nothing. Because if the goal requires destroying yourself to achieve it, success and failure can look identical. One of the most sought-after goals is to become rich, for example. So I have a question for you. If you could get $2 million in your bank account today, but it meant that you would be dying tomorrow, would you take that offer? If your answer is no, that means that you're worth more than $2 million. And if you said no, you also understand that giving up your life to reach that kind of simplistic goal is not the way to go. So now we have 2 villains, 2 types of wrong goals. Jack chased the goal that moves when you reach it. It just keeps shifting and there's never an end. Every achievement just revealed more things to want. He died unsatisfied, confused about why hoarding everything left him emptier than before. The Lich chased the goal that eliminates the person pursuing it. He only had one goal and he achieved total victory, and still found himself standing in an empty void with nothing left to experience it and no further purpose at all. Different mechanisms, same result. The goal itself guaranteed misery from the start. So how do you avoid this? How do you recognize having a wrong goal before you waste years chasing it? Well, first, strip away any comparison you have in your goal. Remove the more than, better than, or instead of, or well, theirs is like this and mine is like, just remove all of that from your goal. The only person you should be comparing yourself to is yourself in the past. If your goal is based on comparing yourself to other people and not your previous self, you're chasing a wrong goal. For example, if you want to make more money than your coworker, remove that comparison. You don't want to make more than them. What do you actually want? You want to make more money. It doesn't have to involve them at all. If you can't answer that without mentioning your coworker involved in this, like, the goal is wrong. It's not the right mental framework. It'll backfire the same way that Jack's did. It puts you in the wrong mental state. Compare this scenario to, I want to earn enough to feel financially secure and have flexibility and feel safe. So that goal could actually be achieved without even thinking of your coworker. You just have to define the goal, perhaps to be an exact number or based on your own history and experiences, based on, more exact calculations. Otherwise, you'll just keep shifting that goal that you'll need to feel secure or to have flexibility or to feel safe. Define it in the most detail you can, only referencing yourself and your own goals unrelated to anyone else. And does having that flexibility include picking up a new hobby maybe? It's not just about money, Does it include working a day less in the future and giving yourself more time? Do you want to treat your mental health better? Do you want to go after other goals too? Calculate all of that first in your head and give yourself a larger frame of reference to your individual goal. Same thing goes for anything that isn't tangible. Like if your goal is to be generically happy and satisfied, really define what happiness is to you and what steps you could take to increase it over your life. Make sure that you base that on internal factors, not external ones. Other people shouldn't be giving you your happiness. If you're only happy once you're in love or in a relationship, once someone else is giving that to you, you're making your own happiness dependent on another person, which is something that you should actively avoid. It's great if other people can make you happier, but not if your happiness relies on them. Alright, now let's look at the Lich's type of incorrect goal, and that is the self-erasing goal. If you achieve this goal, will you still recognize yourself after placing so much into it? Will there still be a you left to benefit from it? Working yourself into complete exhaustion for years to maybe get a promotion, sacrificing every relationship to build that company now and maybe later I'll benefit, abandoning all your values to fit into a group. Just ask yourself, what is left of you when you get there? What is left of you after you sacrificed so much? There's countless stories of investment bankers working tirelessly 20 hours a day to demanding work hours and their bosses yelling at them, and then when they finally become a partner of the firm, they're just hit with the realization that it wasn't what they expected, and they're just drained and tired and aren't enjoying life just because they're richer. All the sacrifices that they made to get there to reach that singular goal just didn't seem worth it anymore. Goals that create value have natural endpoints. There are things that you can do to get there. And you know when you've succeeded because something new exists, and you can look at it and say, hey, I've accomplished it, on to the next goal. I got a skill I developed, a problem I solved, a thing I built that helps people. Having goals is great. It gives your life direction. A plane doesn't just fly into the sky without knowing where to land. It's never going to land in a good place if it has no clue where it's going. So if you're that plane flying through the currents of life and the sky, make sure that the direction you're going is a good one. You don't need to know your exact landing spot yet, but you'll figure it out over time. You'll see you'll be able to make it through the fog, and you'll be able to choose multiple other goals after that. Just remember to learn the right lessons from these villains, and you statistically likely liches out there, you stay away from me and my universe, okay? Okay, that's probably the weirdest ending we've had on this channel so far, but we're sticking to it. If you want to learn even more about chasing the right goals, click here to watch our video on it.